Donny at Boaters Exchange here to show you the 25 QSB today. The QSB, the SB is their swingback version, which is one of their most popular setups. The nice thing about this 25Q, however, is it's got their ESP tri-tune package, which has a center elliptical tube, 32-inch oval-shaped tube. What that's going to do for you, which nobody else in the industry even has, it allows you to do a 37-degree radius turn, unlike any other pontoon, which is great for wakeboarding, skiing, and tubing. Allows you to go back and quickly pick up one of your riders that's fallen off. And also, for us here in the saltwater, it gives a superior ride out in our Indian River where you have waves pretty much from noon on every day. So it gives you a soft, dry ride, and it's very stable. One of the unique things about the 25Q is you have a nice slanted front end, which gives this a very sporty look compared to most pontoons on the market. Also gives you some extra storage up in the bow. The other thing we do with the Q, this gets their upgraded the Pillowtop interior, which is standard on a Q and an option on the rest of their line. This gives you a little bit taller back on here, so when you're out riding around, you have full support all the way up to basically your shoulders. So for a long day out, you don't have your core have to be worked all day long trying to stay comfortable. The other thing I've done in these boats on the 25Q is we put the center tube storage in, which allows for skis or wakeboards, or just a lot of excess equipment you might want to bring out if you have a full, boat for the day with a family. We put the extra sink and the fridge on this model. Obviously, so if you want to park out one of these pretty islands, you can, have your sandwiches and your soda stored and stay cold all day without having to keep dumping ice into a cooler, or having the Yeti on here, which is an extra added expense. We put the bow gate seat on this boat as well. This bow gate seat will fit firmly into here, giving you a full U-shaped bow, a little bit nicer ambiance in the boat. Kind of a nice finishing touch. On the Q as well, on all your layout loungers, you're going to have these nice little armrests that pop down. So when you're out riding for a long ways, it's just like sitting at home in your living room. We also have installed a charger on this boat, so it can charge up your refrigerator battery overnight, which will give you a full charge for any given day on the water. The other thing I like to note on these Benningtons, when you're looking at this, the foam they put in these seats is a high impact foam, but the key thing with this is there's 5 different densities of foam in here. Well, what I like about that is when you sit down, you have a firmness here in the front of the cushions, softer where your butt goes, firmer where your lower back is, and that softens up again as it comes up top. So when I sit even in this bench seat, I can literally climb backwards, and I have full support in my back and my lower back especially, so I don't get any fatigue or pain sitting there all day long. That's probably my most favorite thing about this Bennington pontoon. The other nice thing is you get 10 years of warranty on this whole entire pontoon from the deck up. Even the upholstery, the foam, all the electrical, your hardware, all your gauges on the dash, stereo, to the original buyer is 10 years parts and labor, no deductible. That's another great thing about the Bennington you don't get anywhere else. At the helm on the Bennington on this 25 QSB, we've got their upgraded leather wrapped wheel. We stuck on their high-end kicker stereo. It's got the sub and the amp with the kicker speakers in the boat. We've also stuck on a touchscreen Simrad 5-inch screen, the extra wide recliner on this boat, which you could, if you have a child and you want the child to sit with you, you've got enough room to stick your child here with you and drive the boat down the river for a ways. Another layout lounger in the rear. So one of the nicest features of this swingback interior is its utilitarian use. You have a full L couch in the rear for just being out with the family and friends for the day, or if you just want to come out with you and the spouse, you just pull this back like this, and you can get 2 or 3 people comfortably on the back of this boat. Lots and lots of space. I'm 6'1" and I can completely sprawl right out. You've got radio controls back here, USB plugins back here, so you can still control your music from the rear of the boat without ever having to go back to that helm. They've also given you an extended aft deck with huge built-in speakers back here. So this is like its own section on the entire boat. You can stay back here all day long. And of course you can see in this picture, this has a 350 V8 outboard on here. This is the max horsepower on this boat. This boat runs 50 miles an hour. And again, like I said, it do 37-degree radius turns. So that's great for picking up, you know, people who have fallen off on a wakeboards, you know, skis, and get back quickly, especially if it's busy on the river. It also is nice just for having fun. No different driving your sports car out in the water. So here I'm going to tell you why I like Bennington and some of the features that I've grown to love over the years that seems to be different from everybody else. First off, their tubes, they have a standardized welding process, meaning that it's robotic weld. So every pontoon you look at down my line, you look at these welds and they're the same on every single pontoon. You don't have spottiness, burn marks, it's consistent. And that is what comes from a high quality pontoon. Their tubes also are fully compartmentalized. All these guys like to talk about, oh yeah, we've got compartments in our tubes. Well, they baffle them. And what a baffle is, when it gets the water fill, let's say you puncture this section, the water fills up, it can get to that next section. Once it gets to the very top of this section here, it spills in. These guys actually put a compartmental wall in. Not only does it add strength to this section, this tube, but the water cannot get into that next section. So if I puncture this gigantic section, I'm not going to sink. You may list a little bit, that's it. So that to me is a huge selling feature, especially when you got your family out there, young children on this boat. You know if you hit something, you're not going to sink. You can still get back safely. The other thing is that these guys do, they have 1/4 inch thick cross members. But the catch is, they take their cross member and they take the entire width of this pontoon. The majority of the competition is only 8-foot cross members, so you have a 3-inch gap on each side. So if you hit right here, it's going to smash in and cause a lot of damage. Where I can see right here is a cross member coming out. So if I hit, I'm only going to do minimal damage to the side of this pontoon. On top of the fact, they've stuck a stainless steel rubber around here. They've also got a 1/4 inch U-channel that goes around the whole front of this frame right here. So if I impact right here, you can see, I mean, it's like a rock solid. So you can take some pretty big hits out there for the novice driver. If you whack into a wood pole, no big deal. The only thing you're going to see is maybe a scuff on the rubber rail, and that's it. You're not going to see any impact on the actual pontoon itself. The other thing these guys do, and most of them are doing it now, but Bennington started this, they raised up this rail, so any water that gets on this deck can shed off the bottom of it. It's just bam, self-bailing, which is kind of nice. But the big thing they do, all these railings are D channels. These welds are fully anodized. Not only are they fully anodized, but they go around every circumference, all 360 all the way around, or any square, all 4 radiuses are welded. You look at the competition, you'll see 1 strip here, or maybe 2 strips, and if you rub your finger on the welds really hard, you'll actually see silver paint on your finger because they've painted the welds that look like they're anodized because it's much, much cheaper to do that. These guys do all the welding up front and then ship the entire thing out to be fully anodized all at one time. These welds are fully anodized. So as time comes on, about 10 years down the road, you're going to see this becomes oxidized and starts turning black on the competition because the paint that they've sprayed on those welds has come off. This will look the same 10 years down the road. They also have ribbed siding. Their actual aluminum sides are all fully ribbed to give extra strength to the sides. So when you hit, you don't get the bends and the dimples. So as we keep going through the construction on the Bennington, the other thing these guys do that's so much different from the rest of the competition is their decking that sits on top of that 1/4 inch cross member I told you about. They have stainless steel fasteners that they use. So there's 2 teeth that come and lock down into the deck. Nobody in the industry does that except for Bennington. And that's the reason they give you the warranty I'm going to tell you about. From that 1/4 inch cross member we talked about, the thickness of the cross members, the stainless steel fasteners, and how the cross members come all the way out to the edge, these guys give you a warranty that is unsurpassed in the industry. It's 100% parts and labor for life on that deck. But that's because they use those thicker cross members, those fasteners. So over time, there's no flex in this boat. Any pontoon you go out for a ride on, especially in the heavy waters out here, you'll actually see flexing in the front end because they're using a cross member that's only 1/8 of an inch thick. Doesn't go the full width of the boat, so it allows for a lot of movement in the boat. But what that does is causes tiny little stress cracks in your deck over time, and that's where the moisture gets in and causes all the rotting. Because Bennington uses those full-length cross members, the full width of this boat, and those fasteners in there, this boat moves as one piece, unitized. So that when the boat moves, it moves together, not separated in the front. So they'll give you that warranty in that deck, and I've never seen a deck in my career of 27 years rot out yet on these things. So with that structural warranty of 100% parts and labor for life on this deck, they also extend that same warranty down to your tubes, your transom, the railings, and the seat bases. Everything above this deck is 10 years, parts and labor to the original buyer, as we discussed earlier. So as you can see as we're going along, this warranty is the most stout warranty in the entire industry on any pontoon in the marketplace. But it's not because they just want to give you some warranty and pacify you. It's because over the years they've taken every component on this boat and they've upped the quality over the years to being the best components you can get in the entire industry, which is why they can offer that warranty from the lifetime to the 10 years, because as people know, a warranty can bankrupt a company. So unless you have the proper components that are going to hold up throughout that warranty, most companies you're going to see are going to go away over time. Bennington, they've been out there since 1999, and since their 4th year of inception, they've been #1 in the water.